about the prompt. America needs to unite. Can you tell me what you mean by that?
So basically, what I mean by it is I think working Americans have been divided as far as like identity politics, like race, religion, gender, sexuality, and our mutual interests are economic. And I think the average American has more in common with their neighbor than they realize. And if we would just put our damn swords away and stop demonizing each other, maybe we could get somewhere.
Isn't that just you asking that one side completely concede on all social issues?
How does that even fit into
Well,
anything?
here, I'll help you out. So, is it the case that the right wing is going to stop saying that it's immoral to marriage is immoral, that up the kids is immoral, things like that? They're not going to stop saying that, right? It's the core of their belief structure. That's part of their religious belief structure, especially. So, if that's the case, why would they just give that up for money? Why would they just give that up for money?
It's a religious belief to not sterilize kids. That's new to me.
What's new?
You're the first person to say that it's religious to say that sterilizing children is like religious.
Well, that's not just it. So even if they're not,
that's what
even if they're not sterilizing. No, I didn't actually say that. I said not up the kids, whether it's sterilization or not, right?
Well, if you're gonna end up doing,
what do you mean by up the kids?
Well, I want to use TikTok-friendly words so that I don't cause any problems for this live. So, I think you know. I think you know exactly what I mean by up the kids.
Yeah, with hormone replacement therapy, right?
That's only one way. There's other ways to do it.
Yes.
There's other ways to do it too, which is
stop that.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
How is that wrong?
How is what wrong?
First off.
How is wanting to not sterilize kids wrong?
It's not. I am in full agreement with it. But what I'm pointing out is when you say that the both sides need to unite, right? What you're really saying is that one side, for the purpose of money, needs to give up on social issues, because otherwise, how could they unite?
That's not saying that at all, Andrew.
Well, then explain it.
No, it's not. That's you putting your spin on it.
Then explain it.
I mean, if the sentiment is, if we're referring to like the quote unquote left in the Democratic Party, that they need to put away, all the woke and talk about kitchen table issues again, then yeah, that's a part of the problem. But again, I think just in general, the whole electorate needs to stop flinging at each other.
That doesn't. But do you understand that's not saying anything? The core social issues that we're dealing with within right-wing politics and left-wing politics are core to moral issues for both of them. Why would one side give up on those social issues for money? Right? They wouldn't do that.
No one is saying that.
You did. You said they need to come together under an economic platform because they have more in common with their neighbor than they don't.
But that's not saying that either side needs to give up on certain aspects.
Then how are they going to unite, sir?
Literally by being adults and saying, you know what? We can agree to disagree. Let's come together for the gretter good.
Okay, so how do you agree to disagree about teeing up the kids? Can you explain how we would agree to disagree about that?
We aren't even. That wasn't even what Seamus was saying.
That's what I'm asking him. I don't need your help.
No. What he said in terms of uniting is to come together mostly for the economic goal, and you're trying to bring up something completely different.
I'm contending with this with an argument.
Andrew,
I'm giving an argument.
What everyone else has been trying to kind of get at is the sense of, which is what Redbeard tried to get at. Hey, let's come together, set aside those other differences. Let's solve some of the economic stuff together.
They're not going. Listen, do you understand that you're not going to be able to set aside the social issues and just get along if I believe that what you're doing inside of your lifestyle is fundamentally immoral and awful? Why would I unite with you for more money, dude?
And genuinely, who votes off of...
Like, hang on again. Can you answer the question for me?
Dude, here's the thing, right? Majority of Americans, like, they can actually sit there and say, hey, I respect your opinion, but, like, I disagree. And then we can end up finding stuff to agree upon. Finding ways of, hey, what would a common goal be? We can disagree on ways to get there, but we might have a common goal. then we
Well, that's
might
the
not
problem
have a
between the
common
dialectic of the
goal.
left and the right at this point. We don't have a
We
common
don't, there is
goal
no
anymore.
common
They want
goal.
something
Yeah.
totally different.
Yeah.
We want to
So,
keep our pew-pews. They want to take them away. They
You
want
think-
communism. We
you
want
think
capitalism.
You think majority of America is the far left and the far right?
Well, I think that.
Well, I think that that's a
people who are
false
self-described as-
dialectic. That's a false
That's-
dialectic to say the majority are far right or far left. I think the majority are left or right. And I think that center right takes precedent with most of them. How you're going to come together on social issues, though, when at the federal level, we're talking about T issue, LGBTQ issues, we're talking about racial issues, we're talking about all of these things. Nobody's going to give any ground on those for the purposes of passing a budget bill, dude.
We aren't talking about social issues at all.
Oh, okay, dude. What are you talking about then? What did I get wrong here?
People on the left and people on the right who have agreed, hey, we need single issue bills. So if you're going to do a budget bill, hey, let's do a budget bill and only have it focused on the budget. We can take care of social stuff in its own separate thing.
Bro, they do that right now. What are you talking? That's not America uniting. They'll get together and do a budget bill right now and compromise between both sides for their earmarks and nonsense. That is not America uniting.
They don't do single issue bills.
Yes, they do. Okay, so what is raising the debt ceiling? What is that?
Dude, no. What I'm saying is it's not the majority of the bills are all single issue. You can sit there and be like, this is a bill about, okay, it could be reallocation over to the defense budget. Okay, cool. And then you start reading it, and it's like, oh, we're going to send money to this organization in this one state. And it's like, where does that come into play? Oh, hey, how about when they were talking about giving us stimulus checks, and Biden signed off on sending money all the way to Hamas as a part of that?
Here, let me help you out here. Let's try it. Let me try it a different.
That has nothing to do with stimulus checks.
Well, let's see.
Right?
Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can just play this out logically. A single issue bill. Give me a single issue bill. Nothing else is in it, just the bill that the right and the left is going to agree on. What?
That's exactly what we're saying. They need to actually come together and talk about it.
Yeah, but how do you do that when the dialectic?
The children in schools.
Okay. Okay. How? How?
Well, best way would be to put returning soldiers or volunteers on school grounds with firearms.
And do you think the left is going to go for that?
If they're smart, they will.
No, the answer is no. Of course, they're not going to go for that, right?
The thing the right's been advocating for at least.
Yeah, they're not gonna go for armed guards inside of schools, especially not military veterans, because they'll say they have PTSD and are a danger to the children, and it'll make the teachers uncomfortable, and all sorts of different nonsense that they'll come up with. The point is, but hang on.
Armed guards at banks. We can have armed guards.
Yeah, it doesn't matter in a vacuum, bro. They're not gonna go for that.
Then they're stupid.
I don't disagree, but you see how this America needs to unite makes no sense. Any of these things that you would propose.
How about right? If you disagree, how about you go and tell your politician who represents you that you are for this?
We already do that. We already do that. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
What do you think campaigning is?
That's what we're doing.
This is like the thing of even what like me and Seamus agree on, and we have difference of opinions on a lot. Is that, hey, if a politician isn't doing what you want, everyone, it doesn't matter if they're the Republican candidate and we're the Republican Party, or they're the Democrat candidate and we're the Democrat Party. No, you remove them from office. Sorry. And the issue is majority of people on the left are so much on the sense of, we don't want someone on the right, so we're just going to vote for whoever's there. And then people on the right are the same way that they can't sit there and be like, hey, how about we get these people out who aren't representing us? Because both agree that needs to get done.
No, they don't agree, and here's why. When you're talking about representation in Congress, it takes majorities. It takes majorities to do. We're not going to get rid of a Republican that we disagree with for a Democrat we really disagree with. That's crazy, and neither are the leftists.
That's also not what I was saying either.
Bro, I'm giving you the factual, logical argument to what you are saying.
Just tried to say that for like the Democrats, right? If they didn't agree with the Democrat candidate, that they're not gonna we're just gonna let someone Republican in. Well, no, you could actually sit there and be like, hey, we're gonna have a Democrat contest the chair. And you
Oh,
can have
gee,
them
why
sit
didn't
there
anybody
and
ever
against
think of
them.
that before?
No, you can sit there and have them run against them. You could also sit there and be like, hey, we'll just vote for an independent. After all,
Oh, you mean all the
can
things that are
decide
up for options right this second. Got it.
Did you guys know that for most of the people watching YouTube videos, only a small percentage of those people are actually subscribed to those channels? But subscribing is really quick and easy. All you have to do is first to make a YouTube account, which is free, and then after that, go down to the video that you're watching, hit the like button, which goes a long way in helping out the algorithm, and then go over and hit the subscribe button. After you've hit the subscribe button, click the drop down arrow and click the option that says all, so that can notify you whenever a new video from this creator has dropped. Subscribing is free, and making a YouTube account is also free. It allows you to keep up with all of your favorite content creators, and of course it goes a long way in helping out my channel, and I really do appreciate it. So with all of that being said, back to the video.
Boy, way to change the culture on this one, bud. Yeah, you're right. They could just vote somebody else in. Gee, no, never thought of that before. Wow, got us.
And none of them care to. No one on the right cares.
Because power. Listen, power is collective.
So question, Andrew.
Go ahead.
How would you get both sides to reach across the aisle?
You don't. You don't get both sides to reach across the aisle. Here, let me explain. Okay. Politics is about power. And collect. Bro, can you let me at least make the point before you attack the point? Then let me make the point and then attack the point. That's fair. So here's the point. You're not going to be able to reach across the aisle with leftists, especially not on social issues. People aren't going to compromise on their morality for the purposes of more money. On top of that, you have the other problem that inside of democracies, power is brokered by collective action. So even if there's a really Republican who I disagree with but votes most of the time with the Republican Party, I'm still going to keep him in office, because to risk him against a Democrat is a terrible idea. We don't need to come together. We need to continue to amass power.
So, and that's
Thomas Massey's a great example of that.
You would rather have somebody who's not representing you and your people in office. That is a massive problem.
No, it's not. If listen, let me ask you this. Then let me ask you this. Let's see if that logically tracks. If it was the case that you had 3 representatives in office who really didn't represent you that well, okay, they didn't represent you that well, but they went with the collective action of the people who were in office who did represent you well, and you would risk their seats by putting an opposition party member in if you brought them out of that. If you recalled them, would you recall them?
Actually, yeah, I would.
Oh my God, then you're stupid. I don't know what to tell you. You're just a dummy. You're just dumb.
To say that you get to answer.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're right.
Yes,
you're right. Go ahead.
Recall them and try and put somebody else that actually is going to represent.
Even if it risks their seat to the opposition, then then that's stupid. That's just dumb.
No, because so many of these politicians think that they're just untouchable. They need to understand that they aren't, and that the people are the ones who are in control of this nation. It's not this government who somehow has, all this power and just rules over them. No, they are public servants. They answer to us.
Do you realize how silly this is? All you're saying is that you would give up the collective of power to your enemies in order to make some kind of political example of you're not untouchable. Well, that's great. Now you have a Democrat and broke up your majority. That real smart, bro.
Andrew, that's a nice way to frame your argument while putting words in my mouth. I never said give the power to the opposition.
Then why would you risk the power of a majority?
I don't want people who are corrupt and aren't actually serving me in office.
Then you're risking the power of the opposition.
Oh my gosh. It doesn't matter what political party they are.
It matters.
Okay, everyone should be on board with, hey, if these politicians, one, aren't representing the people of the United States, aren't serving the people of the United States, they need to be removed from office. They are not untouchable.
Okay, but why would you risk? Hang on. But if it's why would you risk it? But why would you risk it if you were getting 80 or 70 or even 60 or 50% of your agenda passed? Hang on. Why would you risk it if you were getting that much of your agenda passed? If you would lose your ability to pass the rest of your agenda because the other side isn't going to play the same way. They're not going to be like, oh, you know what? You're right. Just on basic principle, we're just going to stop all our Now, no, they're going to seize power, dude.
Because I don't want tyrants in office.
That's not the way to get them out, by losing the collective check that you have on them.
The easiest way to get them out is to simply vote them out or show them, hey, you aren't gonna sit in that chair anymore.
No, it's not.
The other way to do it, our founders actually said how to do it in the Declaration. And
what did they say?
I would not disagree with that.
What did they say?
Overthrow them by force.
No, that's not what they said in the Declaration.
That is actually what they said. Yes.
Pull up the Declaration and show me. You're referencing Thomas Jefferson.
Of the people to overthrow a government that does not represent them.
No, I think you're wrong. Actually, it doesn't say that. Pull it up.
Really, what does it say then?
Oh, I think you're referencing Thomas Jefferson, who said, "From time to time, the tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants." That's what I think you're referencing.